Hey, how's it going? Happy Wednesday, everyone. We've got some new trailer drops, very recent trailer drops for Lanterns. And we have a teaser for the new Starfleet Academy. And we have Justine Bateman on the show live answering your questions. And you can tell by the sound of my voice, which is cracking, that I really need Alan.
Alan!
Oh, and I need you too.
We'll get through this. I'm having a rough day.
We'll get through this together.
I'm having a rough day today. I was late on the nooner, and somehow
you had a bowel
you made it bigger. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, having a rough day. But you always make me laugh.
Yeah. I mean, did whatever you have pass? Is that
Oh, it's not. It's gonna be rough for me for a while. But hey, let's talk to people out there and we'll look at some fun trailers before Justine will be here in 26 minutes. Post your questions and comments. Here we go.
Yeah. Here we go. Lord Thosh, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
And we have, let's see here. We have Project Film Threat shirts now available in the Film Threat shop. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. Project Film Threat. I have the Doomsday Duds shirt here.
I have the Krull shirt.
Inspired
shirt.
Yes, and we have our annual award this shirt. I tell you, I almost got kicked out of the Academy Museum for wearing that hat that says the Oscars can suck it.
I wonder why they would want to throw you out for that.
Yeah, why would they? But but let's go to some other comments. SWG, I have a great suggestion. Sean Baker. Alan and I will see him at the CREDO 23 Film Festival.
Oh.
And that's who I want. I heard Sean on a recent A24 podcast. He was great. So I'd love to get him on the show. And John Manalang, remember, Chris had a pooper at Nooner. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Thank you for being a member for 43 months.
Apparently you had a backed up colon on
That's not what it was. That's not what it was.
That's what they said it was.
And Sean, who gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. We appreciate you. Thank you, Sean, who. And let's actually start with the Starfleet Academy episode 9 teaser. It's coming.
It's directed by Jonathan Frakes, which means it'll be the greatest episode of the.
I love Jonathan Frakes. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's really, the guy gets Trek and Trek fans. But let's take a look at this teaser. It's only 30 seconds.
Official end of our first academic year. Tonight, we all have something to celebrate. Our new era.
Comms channel alert triggered.
I think my mom tried to contact me.
I'm coming with you too, Kek. Are you stealing the shuttle?
It's now or never.
We'll find your mum. Let's get back here fast and safe.
Hey, at those wings, you're gonna get us all killed.
Our intelligence says Ukek is about to be annexed.
Shut your ass!
It's by the Moose Sprocket.
I knew he wasn't done with us.
Ooh, so Paul Giamatti is back.
Damn it. This show is so stupid.
I know it's dumb.
Look, I knew he wasn't. I knew he was.
We will see it through to the end. We will see it through to the end.
I mean, it's just so uninspired storytelling.
It's
shuttle.
I love how they drop these little keywords like it's a new era. It's a new era.
Mm-hmm.
It's you'll be triggered.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone took a word cloud of what they think Gen Z and Gen Alpha have in their brains and decided, let's make a TV show out of it.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I think AI can write a better show.
Yeah, I mean, we will ask Justine when you see like such bad writing in modern TV and film. Tell me why we shouldn't use AI. What's the argument
Yeah.
against it? It's how they're choosing to use it. It
I
should,
know.
well, we'll have an interesting discussion, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that teaser or that preview, and again, it's like there's nothing new on the sun, nothing inspired. You know, well, once we knew that he was looking for his mother, we knew there was going to be the episode where he's going to supposedly get in contact with his mother, and then the bad guy is going to step in, which again is not inspired at all.
Yeah,
I could have written that. I always say that if I could have done that, then it's not very good.
Hey, well, here's something to talk about here. Lanterns. It's the Green Lantern show, but it's lanterns is what they're calling it. I've got the trailer just dropped like a couple hours ago, and we're going to watch it. It's coming to HBO Max in August.
Oh, cool.
So here we go. Alan, are you ready for this? You haven't seen this.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Okay. A lot of, James Gunn mentioned that the show is inspired by True Detective because it's gritty and dark. And is that,
and so hopefully with some incredible nudity in it.
Are we, I'm over gritty, dark dystopian. Can we have hopeful, like, aspirational superheroes? What superheroes are? Let's see what they. I want to see what you think of this, Alan. Yeah. Things off, and what's off is there's an American flag in this small town. This is what bugs me about James Gunn's DC universe. It really doesn't seem to like America or the
the American flag being a symbol of white supremacy. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's sort of, and your universe, Superman represents the aspirational values of America.
Yeah.
And America,
Truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they changed that, didn't they?
Well, maybe these are the good guys.
This image, it doesn't look good because what they're telling us here is these are the bad people. These are the bad people. These are the evil people. This is like,
yeah.
This
is like when the progressives traded in their pride flags for Palestinian flags, and now they're trading it in for Iranian flags.
This is Peacemaker season 3. It looks like. Let's watch the rest. Yeah. They say fuck in a superhero show.
Yeah.
Superheroes for kids.
Hey, Sheriff sure has some mouth on her.
And they put it in the trailer. Do you need to look? Do they understand the source material and where this all came from?
I mean, I don't remember this. Look, I didn't collect a lot of Green Lantern comic books, but I don't remember this storyline in any of them.
It was goofy and funny and also heroic. And let's move on. Here's the suit.
Mm-hmm.
There it is in all its olive green. It's not very bright. I don't know how I feel about this. Let's keep going. There's so much unnecessary swearing. An effing squirrel. Why would you? Why?
Well, that gives them credit.
You don't. It's gritty because of the language. This is so. And they're going for True Detective, which is, in my mind, a masterpiece. Season 1 is a masterpiece. Really, it truly is. This is. I don't know why you think you have to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall the Green Lantern stories having this kind of a tone to it. They're going after people. Apparently, they're going after people who are waving the American flag and have Tourette's, and so.
Yeah, I based on what I've seen, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know. Sometimes you just want a comic book story, a comic book superhero story. Is that so hard?
Yeah. I mean, Gary and I talked on the Nooner. Why isn't there a Batman TV show made with the quality of the Penguin show or a Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Batman series, that has Batman being a detective, a serious show, lots of rogues gallery of villains. No one has better villains than Batman. And if you want to go gritty, gritty is Batman. Gritty is not Green Lantern. I love True Detective. This is, you want to do, that's probably how they sold it. I don't know. And Hal Jordan is going to be the old grizzled over the hill. You're done. I'm the future. And there you go. That's everything now. It's just boring because you can predict everything.
Yeah.
And everyone in that small town, everyone who's white is a bad guy. There, I solved the mystery. All the white people are bad. There you go.
Yeah. Again, I think you kind of can write the story in your head based on that because you've seen that way too many times. Yeah. You know, we're going into some white town. There's some evil racism going on. We got to fix it. You know, the wrong people are in charge. And only a Green Lantern ring can solve it all.
Yeah, I mean, here's probably why this will not be successful. It isn't tapping into the zeitgeist. That's not in the zeitgeist. That is a narrative being forced by the mainstream media. And so if you really tap into what's in the zeitgeist, it'll resonate with people because it has something to say. What this has to say, it's tired, old, and predictable. I don't like it. Let's go to your comments. We've got a comment here.
Yeah, from Chicken Wings for 999. Thank you for that. Here we go. As someone who has seen True Detective season 1 29 times to completion, I can see that that's what they were going for here. I pray they don't shit the bed.
I predict, based on what I've seen, they will. Thanks, Chicken Wing.
I know there's a really popular scene in season 1 that people have seen over and over again. Ready 09K for 2. Green Lantern is Hugh White is stable and male, the TV show. Stale and male, the TV show.
That's what it is. White is
stale
and male. White is stale and male, the TV show. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Shaking things up. I mean, I find it funny that diversity means, we got one black guy in the show. Scott Miller. They're swearing, so you know it's edgy. Yeah. That and Starfleet Academy.
Yep.
Ololiukui, a sure sign of evil.
Yep. Moving on.
The Sons in Shadowcast. I like the casting of this show, but I'm afraid the writing and direction this isn't correct. Green Lantern is cosmic. What the fuck is wrong with the perception of gun? Did you like how I went gritty there?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Lame.
Sun in Shadows also says special thoughts to Bruce Campbell. Kick cancer's butt. Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, thank you, Sons and Shadows cast. I saw Bruce Campbell is dealing with cancer. He's going through treatment. He's canceled some summer con appearances. He says he'll be back in the fall.
Yeah.
So prayers up for him. He's gonna get through it.
They're nerd far away. These previews are all starting to look the same. Gritty, kind of quippy, and a sad emo remake of an 80s song being used for the film.
Yeah, it's predictable. It's very predictable. And there you go. Hey, Leslye Headland. We haven't talked about her in a while. She answers the Acolyte burning questions. This is on a recent podcast appearance of a show I don't really watch. But here we go. It's on the George Lucas talk show.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, there's a whole documentary on this show.
Yeah, so let's watch this clip. I don't know where it ends here, but let's watch. I'm very curious what she has to say.
Did Mother Coral survive?
Wait, what were you gonna say, Alan?
What? I didn't say anything.
All right, here we go. Let's watch it.
Yes.
Does Yoda help with Vernestra's cover-up?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Did the
By the
light
way, he does it at don't come at me in the comments because he does it in Clone Wars, so I don't want to hear
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did the light whip cause Chimere's scar?
Yes.
Was there actually something romantic between Osha and Chimere?
Sorry?
Was there something actually romantic?
What would
I'm just going by this
that's
list.
the question?
That's the question.
I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
Weird question, bro.
Was Chimere a true Sith?
No.
Okay. Is this how Darth Plagueis learned to create life? You can hold off on that. That's okay.
She throws up her hands like, probably. This is like a rapid fire questions about the Acolyte. So,
And donate to Wildlife Relief, please.
Yeah. Here we go.
You go.
How do Osha and Chimere factor into Palpatine's origin story? Okay, great. Will Darth Plagueis ever return to the Star Wars screen?
He's throwing up her hands, not really answering, not giving us much.
Well, I get it. They gave her the Acolyte, but is she really in charge of the whole Star Wars story?
It's, when you hear her respond to this stuff, it's total fanfic here.
Yeah.
Did Yoda learn about the rule of two? This is not applicable to you, but I'm just going off this list. How old is Ki-Adi-Mundi really?
Girl.
And that's
you already asked me that though. I
did already ask you that. Wait, I'll ask you
From
one.
a certain point of view.
There was someone on the phone. They were talking to someone in the Senate on the phone. Was that Palpatine?
You mean an episode?
Wait, they have
when
phones?
Vernestra was on the phone and she said, "I need to see him."
Yes.
There are phones in Star Wars.
She's asking to see Yoda.
Space phone.
Yeah.
But there's someone who they're talking to, and they hear a voice, and it sounds.
The more they talk, the dumber I realize this show is. Let's keep going. Oh my God!
People thought it was Palpatine.
Oh,
Okay, great. We did it.
Just when you thought Starfleet
sure.
Academy was the worst show.
Yeah, Scott has a question.
Yes,
I have a question. Has anyone ever gone into hyperspace or speed or whatever they call it, and then it's gone so fast that they time traveled? And if so, couldn't all of these characters jump in a spaceship and meet everyone in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie?
Yeah,
and
just all hang out.
Join up with them and fight whoever they're fighting. I assume Jack Black's character.
I got the question building onto that.
Yeah.
Why don't all the characters that everyone loves all go into hyperspeed and then travel through time and land in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? So when we pay a lot of money for a ticket to a theme park, all the characters we like are there, and we don't have to worry about whether or not the timelines show up. I want to go to Disneyland and high five everyone at the same time. I don't want to be told they wouldn't exist here. You know what else wouldn't exist in this universe at this time period? Fucking Dole Whip. Let me hang out with all of them.
Oh my God.
I don't think even she's really taking this interview seriously. What are your thoughts, Alan?
No, I feel like she's given up on taking it seriously.
I mean, look at her. She kind of shrugs her shoulders.
Yeah.
Do you think I think she's kind of done. Like,
I don't think she realized what she was getting into.
She did the show that she wanted to make, and it got a bad response. And that's kind of it is what it is.
Well, I mean, just the fact that A, we know she wasn't a fan of Star Wars, and B, somehow needs to feel like she's the historian of pre-Lucas Star Wars.
I this does not bode well, but I want to see the Acolyte season 2. You could do it with puppets. You could do a comic book. You could do a novella. Tell us what the story would have been. Let's hear it. Someone should do a show. It'd be great. All right. We're going to go to comments, and then I'm going to hit the bathroom while you read comments. Alan.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Well,
we got a big interview coming up.
I know.
Right back.
If Atomic Glory could grab some more comments, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
let's
too.
go for it, Alan.
But Darth Yeager, I knew nothing about Star Wars before the Acolyte, and I don't know anymore now. Lesbian headlamp. Here we go. Caravaggio. Sorry. They despise the fans. It's beyond obvious. That's right. A.D. Ellis. They're treating her like she is actually George Lucas. If you know what that show is, the George Lucas talk show. I saw a whole documentary on it. But it's kind of an improv show where George Lucas is the host. Don Mac 3K. May the Dole Whip be with you always. Scott Miller. She knows it over and done. No need to pretend anymore. Or she knows it's over and done. Olaliu Kui, The Acolyte Season 2, When Nature Squeals. And Darth Yeager, still waiting for Film Threat's version of The Acolyte Season 2. Yeah, that would be great. I have nothing to do with that. ADLS 24, do Acolyte 2 Electric Boogaloo. Let's see. Sorry, okay, here we go. From our buddy Tom Siebert. You don't need a whole season, but a couple of minute snippets from season 2 could be made funny. Yeah. You wouldn't have to write out an entire script. The bonkers antihero. She's a horrible person that doesn't give a shit about other people's feelings. I'll say this. I think she was given an opportunity she wasn't prepared for, but when you take it, and she has to defend her work, and that's what she's doing. That's the thing, is when you do something and you throw it out there, no matter how bad it is and no matter how much you realize how bad it is, you're still going to defend it. And I think that's what she's doing.
I mean, I would like to see, if the story is not going to be told as a $200 million Disney Plus series, give the fans what they want. Tell them the story. What was this? You can do that in a novel or a comic book or some other form. I mean, she holding out, there'll be a Disney Plus series. I don't think there will be.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a point. In the name of basic economics, how did that show cost $110 million?
She's a bad producer, and a lot of the money was given.
How'd she get that money? Who's the one who wrote the checks?
What's so funny is that movie or that series, with all the money spent, looks so cheap as compared to give credit where credit is due. Starfleet Academy looks expensive. The sets, everything about it, it's years of doing Star Trek. The technical crew on Star Trek is great. The writers are terrible. The leadership is terrible. I don't blame the actors. You take a job, but wow, not so good. What is happening, Sons of Shadows cast? I have no idea.
Rogues. If you can resonate with Kylo Ren, you can resonate with just about anyone.
Well, there you are. And then
Tim is not funny. This is like that Simpsons gag at comic book conventions when all the nerds ask dumb questions. No, I think Shatner did that one first.
I think the Dole Whip thing is a reference to that whip that they had.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. It was, going back to Disneyland, and they're making that connection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Dole Whip, it could be because it was a whip. It was like a lightsaber whip, which is ultimately kind of a dumb idea.
Yeah. Versus a delicious pineapple slushy.
Yeah. Hey, while we wait, we've got time actually to do this really quick from the Poo-niverse.
Ooh.
Pinocchio Unstrung. I have the trailer. It's here. We can do a quick reaction to it as we reset for Justine Bateman. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here we go.
All right.
It's always hard losing someone you love. I'm sorry I had to experience all that so young.
I wish Zach was still here. It doesn't feel the same anymore.
Now, Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2 was my favorite of all these.
Mm-hmm.
All these like public domain fiction. We'll see about Pinocchio here.
Come down. There's someone here I want you to meet. I just thought you could use a friend.
Oh,
no.
Oh, this is
Oh,
great.
wait, it's practical effect. Is he Geppetto?
It's like white boys that made different from you, organs and stuff.
Oh, that's
I want to be
creepy.
just like you. Nah, you don't. You're way cooler than me.
Take what they have, piece by piece, to make yourself whole.
Who are you?
Name's Cricket. Piece by piece,
Oh my
we'll take
God.
everything you need.
They put a lot into this. You
I
got some
know.
puppetry, some CGI. This is the biggest budget looking of these movies. So finish it out.
To be real.
What the hell is he?
Pinocchio!
Oh, God.
Taylor?
Who James the Stone?
One hell of a glow up, kid.
I think Geppetto is hiding something.
My belief that the soul does indeed remain after death.
Call the police. Well, tell them what, Dudley? That a homicidal doll is on the loose?
The subject is dangerous, born evil.
God,
I'm
Ellen.
going to be a real boy. I'm going to be just like James.
Pinocchio!
Oh my God.
Pinocchio Unstrung.
Let's give you a
Alan, will you go
wow.
see it?
Yeah, I'll go see this one.
Yeah.
This one looks interesting.
Well, at least AI was not used in that trailer. A lot of practical effects, a lot of CG.
Yeah.
But
The return of stop motion animation.
we'll leave it there. Hey, friend of the show, someone I admire, someone very brave, is Justine Bateman, a filmmaker who puts her money where her mouth is. Recently presented at presented our top awards. I'm glad she showed up, didn't know what she was getting into, and we thank her for that kind of trust. And CREDO 23 Film Festival is coming up in a few short weeks. Let's bring on the show Justine Bateman.
Hi.
Hey, Justine, good to see you.
I like the graphic up here where the buttholes behind me are crossed out.
Yeah.
Oh my, what?
Well, I think that's
Oh,
the
no.
ChatGPT.
What is it? No, I think it's our
Well,
little
all
graphic.
the AI logos are buttholes. Have you not noticed this?
No.
Which
I
is
haven't.
apropos because much like human digestion, the human digestive system, you bring in fresh things, you eat them, you digest them, and then you eliminate what you don't
poop 'em
need,
out.
right? They digest the good films and then produce the elimination, let's say.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, can't thank you enough for being at Award This and
My pleasure.
having- It was so much fun. I don't think you knew what you were getting into. It was packed crowd of filmmakers, and they loved you. So that's great.
It was fun.
You've gotten some press. You were in, was it Time Magazine?
Yeah, I was on the cover of Time Magazine actually on
Yeah.
my birthday. I woke up and you do an interview with them for a piece where they're talking to many people, and you don't know if you'll make the cut, and you certainly don't know you're going to be on the cover. I mean, I didn't, so that was really neat.
But it's great to see you being acknowledged for your fight against AI. And I'll just say it's getting more and more difficult when you see filmmakers like Darren Aronofsky. We had Roger Avery on the show a couple weeks ago. He's been trying to, this is what he told us on the show. He's been trying to raise money for years to make new films. But as soon as he said the words AI, the money was attracted. What do you think? Is this an alarming trend with filmmakers of note that are, we looked at the Darren Aronofsky project. It looks terrible. The American Revolution. I don't know if you saw some of the clips from
I
it.
saw that. I'm allergic to watching stuff, so I can only watch tiny bits of it. But so I did watch a bit of the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess one would hope with someone as talented as Aronofsky, he'd kind of put the Aronofsky spin on the use of AI, but that didn't appear to be the case. I don't know. I mean, whatever other filmmakers want to do is fine. I mean, I've wanted to direct since I was 19, and then timing never felt right. And it didn't feel right until I was like 50. And so as soon as I felt that timing click in, and I'd already written a bunch of scripts and stuff, I was like, oh my God, let's go. So for me, like, I'm so, like, I've, that was 10 years ago. Like, I feel like I've just started, like, I mean, I hope I get to make, like, I don't know, 10 films before I die, but I'm so excited to be doing this. Like, you would really have to, like, pin me down, gun to my head, to make me capitulate any of the parts of filmmaking that I now get to do. Like, just for me, like, I can't relate to it. And I want to see how far I can go. And, in filmmaking, and, using AI is like kind of the opposite of that. You're just giving up. I also, the problem in the business is not necessarily AI. The problem in the business is that the focus hasn't been on making great films for about 15 years. There have been some great films and series, but that's not the focus of the business. And so it becomes very difficult to get things funded, to get things promoted, to get things released that are really good. So that's one of the hallmarks of CREDO 23. Yeah, no AI is used, but we're also trying to find, like, really good, fresh stuff that's not checking boxes. It's not a reboot or rehashing. It's not tired. It's really, and some of them we get with just like, oh, damn, that is good. Like a type of project you've seen before, but the way they come at it is really fresh. So, anyway, so for me, like, I feel a responsibility as a filmmaker, talking about, like, I'm so happy I get to do this, but also I'm one of the many that have the football right now in the film industry. This is our time, right? And I want to move the ball down the field creatively as much as I can. So, I mean, if other people don't feel that kind of call, that's fine. This is what I'm doing. And yeah, and doing the CREDO 23 Film Festival has just been kind of an extension of that. Like, okay, if there are others who want to get a grant, want to get money for making something, because we give away almost all the money that we get from sponsorship and ticket sales and stuff, submission fees, reward them so they can make more non-AI films. And also for the audience, like, hey, we vetted this stuff. You can safely watch this without wondering, am I watching AI? I don't want to watch it,
I just think Hollywood is starting to go all in on it.
Oh,
and
yeah, they will.
Yeah, and consolidation is not going to help. I think
no, that's a big, I agree.
That's not going to help. I think that, the one thing, if you can cut costs, bring it in cheaper. And there's an argument to be made, unfortunately, an argument to be made for CG effects being replaced partially with AI, because CG effects has diminished in quality so poorly. When you can't do effects today that are better than Jurassic Park in the early 90s, what's the argument against using AI? It's hard to justify it. It's getting harder and harder. So, and look, but real human stories, I think there's no replacing, when you've seen a great indie movie that is all about the performances, the actors' choices, the drama, like that's just, we see it less and less, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of components to that. Like I said, the general focus of the business, which, you don't, because the focus changed, you don't have the structure necessary to cultivate new filmmakers, to promote things properly, to protect the integrity of the project when you're releasing it. And there's a lot of factors within that, the fracturing of the audience, it's harder to market to them because of that. The fact that the financial tail of a film, there used to be many steps in there and many revenue streams,
Right.
from theater to, VHS and then DVD and broadcast television, premium cable. Broadcast television would be at the end, like you'd see something in, 2 or 3 years after it's in the theaters. But now it's basically just 2 weeks in the theater, and then you're in a very large, difficult to navigate bin of everything that's ever been made.
Yeah.
Like that's not a release. That's not taking care of a project, If you're lucky, you're being released on Mubi or Criterion Channel or something like that. But I mean, it's yeah, I don't know what the answer is going to be there with distribution. I mean, it's very encouraging to see what Markiplier did with Iron Lung.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but you have to have cultivated a 38 million member audience for that to replicate, I think. But
Yeah.
it's encouraging, people still do want to go to the theater. But I think people are tired of going to the theater and then going like, I'm too many films that are going to the theater are not made for the theater. They're made for streaming.
Yes.
And they're made for that second screen objective, right? Like here's my primary screen and then the second screen thing is playing here. And they're like, oh, we don't want to distract this viewer from their primary screen. We don't want them to shut it off. So, but you can't put stuff like that in the theater. I mean, in the theater, you have to hold someone's attention for 90 to 120 minutes.
Well, quick recommendation before we talk more about CREDO 23. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
You like it?
You gotta see it. Very creative. A film 17 years in the making. I would love to see your reaction to that film. It's just it's in the writing. In the writing.
A mockumentary, right?
Well,
kind of.
Yeah.
I would call it Back to the Future 2 if it was real.
Yeah, it's very. You need to see that one, and the other one, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
I do want to see that.
That's a very anti-AI film. The theme of it, just Gore Verbinski, and it's an indie movie made for like 10 million. So those two need to be on your radar. I think the two best movies that have been released this year. But your festival,
that's good to hear.
CREDO 23 passes are on sale. Alan and I will be there. Go to CREDO23 filmfest.com. We'll put the link in the description. Buy passes. Sean Baker is speaking at your event.
Yes, Sean Baker is speaking. Matthew Weiner, who is a CREDO 23 council member, and he created Mad Men and wrote on Sopranos. and among other projects. And Cassian Elwes, who is the godfather of indie film finance. And so he's presenting one of his, he did Mudbound, he did Dallas Buyers Club, he did Dead Man's Wire, Gus Van Sant's new film, and he's going to be presenting All Is Lost, which is the one of Robert Redford's last films as an actor. And that's interesting. There's hardly any dialogue. It's one guy. That's one of the most difficult. I mean, that's something, with Markiplier too, with Iron Lung, essentially one person, one space. That's a really difficult thing to pull off.
Yeah.
So, All Is Lost. That's gonna be, and I feel for new filmmakers, because there isn't this support in the business. One of the things that is a foundational in the film business is like an apprenticeship structure. And because there's so much less work now, there's 40% less work overall, 60% less work in Los Angeles itself. A lot of people are just getting out. A lot of very experienced people are getting out. And that means that the people coming up don't have anyone to learn from. That's a major problem. So that's one of the reasons, we brought in this film forum aspect to the film festival this year, so that come in. Sean Baker won an Oscar last year for, he won Best Picture. So you got a question about filmmaking, come ask him. You got a question of Cassian Elwes about how to get financing, ask him. Matthew Weiner about producing or screenwriting, ask him. That's what we want to give people an opportunity for, so they don't go, well, I don't know how to do it, I guess I'll just use AI. It's like, no, if you think you're a filmmaker and you're called to this, don't chop off your opportunity to actually see what you can do.
I think we're missing creative executives, because the changes you talked about, the glacial changes that have happened over the last, I don't know why I called it that, last more than a decade, there aren't people that know films. There aren't people. I feel like when you see these executives, there's a common language. You can reference films from decades ago, from the early era of the beginnings of the film industry. And I feel like those people aren't around. They don't know the history.
Well, I think there's probably less of them. I mean, you always had a lot of MBAs in film as film executives, but at least they wanted to be part of something that was really respected. And I think once the studio started chasing the perceived success of the streamers, then that all kind of went away. That focus went away, because I know I've spoken to executives who got into the business because they cared about films. They really wanted to be part of filmmaking. And they've said that it's just demoralizing, because and this has been going on for a while with algorithms. And then, you get a more robust algorithm with, where you incorporate AI, and it becomes worse. And that's that they would be handed, they couldn't come champion some play they saw off Broadway, let's make that into a film or a book, or some filmmaker whose short they saw. I was told they got to a point where they weren't permitted to do that. They were handed this algorithmically composed digest of what they needed to go find.
The schedule,
and
I'll get into. You got your opening night reception on Friday. You've got these panels, opening night wrap up, happy hour and a half on Saturday.
Well, actually, I'll tell you, opening night, we don't have a panel this year that night. We have 3 shorts or 4 shorts that are everything's top notch, but 4 top notch 3 top notch shorts and this feature. And this feature, Crystal Cross, is so great, and madcap. And the lead actress in this is, you watch her and you're like, Okay, somebody explain to me why she is not an absolute star right now. So this is fresh stuff that you haven't seen anywhere else. And then the next day, like some of these shorts just and some of these are world premieres, and like me and the other programmers, like some of these I can't believe we have the world premiere. I can't believe somebody else didn't grab it already. And then Sean Baker presenting Starlet. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, so it stars Dree Hemingway, who is in this JFK Jr. love story thing right now, playing Daryl Hannah. She's in it. It's terrific. All Is Lost is there. Yeah, Happy Hour and a Half. Again, like all of these, like I love every single one of these films, and I am absolutely a film snob. Absolutely a film snob. Like if we couldn't have found enough good films, we would have shortened the festival by like a day or something.
Right.
I mean, if I was running the Oscars, I would have some years where I would say, we're only having 2 nominees for Best Picture because none of the rest of them were any good. So that's how we see when we're picking these films, like, and we're thinking of the audience when we pick the films, you know, is this good enough to give them?
The full festival pass is $250 for the whole weekend.
And that is, Sean Baker, Matthew Weiner, Cassian Elways. It's all the films. It's opening night, champagne reception. It's really, and this whole place, it's like, if you just want to go hang out somewhere and just talk about film and shoot pool and, hang out with there's this big bar down, this building is fantastic. The American Legion Hall. Just come hang out. Like people had so much fun last year, and we've got free parking across the street, courtesy of CREDO 23. One of the Hollywood Bowl because this place is right near the Hollywood Bowl. So we've got one of the Hollywood Bowl parking lots. How often do you get that in LA? Free parking?
You don't.
By the way, this is the theater in the picture.
That's the theater.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's bigger than last year. It is based on the schedule, the people involved. I feel like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, it's we're really happy with this lineup. Like if you love film, I mean, even so, if you're a filmmaker and you can come ask questions of these, experienced filmmakers, but also if you're just a film fan and you want to ask Sean Baker, what is it like to do a campaign, an Oscar campaign? Or how did I understand your first film was done on a iPhone. Like, how did you do that? Or, whatever. If you just like, there's no silly questions, I mean, what do you want to know of these very experienced people? We are bringing them to you.
Yeah. How are people reacting? I mean, I feel like other festivals, I don't think they're really taking a stance on AI or non-AI or separating.
No.
Like I haven't seen any major festivals take a leadership role and actually having like a policy about how to deal with that.
No, they're not. In fact, they're one of the reasons we started this festival last year is that they're, quite a few of them are making deals with these AI companies. And look, it takes a lot of money and effort to put on a film festival. So, I don't know what their financial situation is. I don't know, these AI companies do like to throw money around. So I don't know if they had to stay afloat. But I just personally like, it just seems like it's like having a cooking contest and, but half the people can bring in like a frozen meal that was prepared by somebody else and then put it in a microwave and then present it. I don't like, I mean, fine, go ahead and do it. But like, that's video prompting. That's another type of activity. It's not filmmaking.
Right.
Yeah, and I also love it's going to sound funny, but I love the restrictive nature. I love the restrictions of independent filmmaking. I like having casting restraints, you know. If I was Apple or I was doing a show at Apple or Netflix or I don't know, just someplace that had like a kind of a bottomless pit of money. And I could just offer any actor, you know, $5 million a film or something like this, and I, you know, I mean, couldn't get anyone you want for that, but it would really widen who I could have. But I like the constraint of like, no, we have an independent film budget and this is what we can do. I like the constraints of the budget, the time constraints. You don't have 60 days to shoot something. You have more like 20 days. You've got to shoot 7 pages a day. I like and then the financial constraints for the rest of the film. The music, you only have this much for the music. You can't just go buy any song you want. And so all of these constraints I'm saying, or how many locations you can have or whatever, it gives you an opportunity. It's like being in a class and they say, you know, you got to write a paper that's, you know, 1,000 words, and it's got to be about this particular topic. And you have to have a limerick at the beginning and the end or whatever. I'm just making something up.
Right.
I mean, constraints can really activate creative solutions. And that I find that really exciting. So I you know, so anyway, I'm saying all this to say there are some people maybe that are going, well, I don't have the money to do the CGI, so I'm just going to use AI, or I don't have the money for the music, so I'm just going to use AI music. And it's like, you know what? You're going to come up with something so much better because of those restraints.
Well, I'll give you a couple.
Don't jump off the opportunity and just, you know, go like, well, whatever, I'll just use AI.
I will give you some examples of a movie I saw at Sundance. One of the best short films I've ever seen, directed by a guy named Ari Gold. His mother tragically died in a helicopter accident. I won't go into detail about it. It was a big funeral, and it's sort of a little documentary, but like a telling of that story from his point of view. He was a kid when it happened, and he had messages from his mother that were on the answering machine, and he fictionalized the helicopter crash using toys. It was so poignant because he's not going to have a helicopter crash in the movie, but it was he used toys to tell this part of the story, and it made it much more impactful emotionally. And the movie we talked about earlier, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, restraints are part of why that movie is what it is. There's some cheesy special effects in the movie, by design kind of cheesy, but this movie is what early film does best. It's like a magic trick. And when you see how like early Harold Lloyd, Charlie Chaplin, they were pulling off magic tricks.
Yeah. Wings of Desire. How about that opening shot for Sunset Boulevard in the swimming pool? You know how they did that one?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
I don't know how they did that, but I love that.
So the shot, for people who haven't seen it, go see it. The shot is from under. What happens in this beginning shot is there's somebody face down in a swimming pool, dead. And there are people taking pictures, reporters taking pictures up, you know, above ground. And the shot is from underneath the water, from in the water underneath this man who's down face down. So the camera's up past him, looking at through the water, looking at the photographers above, you know, outside the pool. So they didn't have these underwater cameras or anything. They couldn't have done that. So what they did is they put a mirror at the bottom of the pool, and they shot down. And then what you're watching is the reflection of under the body, the camera, you know, and all the photographers from the mirror. You're seeing the mirror image at the bottom of the pool. Isn't that great?
I love looking up. There are a lot of videos that now kind of explain how effects in classic films were done. It's astounding. They had to figure out how to do it. And I feel like when you've got sometimes too much money, doesn't mean it's going to turn out. If you have a lot of money, it doesn't mean the movie will end up great. Having a
Yes,
lot
but
of
on the
money,
other hand, if you are figuring out what to do and you do have a lot of money, I mean, if you look at like Christopher McQuarrie's, one of the many Mission Impossibles that he did, and you look at the one where they have him jumping off a cliff on a motorcycle, and I think he has a parachute. I'm not sure. And they show the making, so they have a lot of money for this film, but he's doing his own stunt, and they're showing the making of, and they show like, here's how we accomplished this. I mean, it's still exciting to see what you can do instead of, like they didn't say like, oh, just do it with AI, you know?
Yeah.
But
actors, I think actors will be, I think every department of film is going to be affected by AI, whether it's admin, scheduling, script breakdowns, lots of things will be affected by AI. I think the very last thing to be affected will be actors, because they're going to hold out. Recently, Matthew McConaughey said he's trademarked himself. Is this what actors are going to have to do?
But I mean, I heard what he said. I have had experience with the trademark office and the copyright office of, in the US. It'd be interesting to hear what he was able to accomplish with that desire, because you can't trademark something that changes all the time. I mean, it's a nice idea, but I mean, it's better to look into things like right of publicity and some of the protections that are in the SAG contract and stuff. But I don't, based on my experience with trademarking a few things, I don't believe you can trademark something that changes all the time. You had to trademark something. It's very specific what you're trademarking, very specific. And it's like, for example, if it's a logo, is it any color? Is it this color? Is it, what are the dimensions in relation to the other markings on the logo? I mean, I don't know, maybe he knows something different, but
well, he trademark. He trademarked the phrase. He trademarked the phrase. All right.
Never changes, does it?
Yeah.
It's very specific.
So it is very specific. At least in my experience, I found it to be extremely specific.
Yeah.
Like it's a long process, and but yeah.
I was just gonna say, sorry, I was just gonna say, I can't believe that people will one day come to a point where they would pay money to watch AI actors, an AI 90-minute feature of just nothing but AI actors.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that,
I think
Tilly Norwood, this was in the Reporter. Tilly Norwood AI studio hires former Amazon exec in rapid expansion and sets launch of multi-character Tillyverse. This is from 2 days ago.
I don't know.
Is this a press release regurgitated as news? Just some announcement? I don't see this. This person is a manufactured. I mean, literally something manufactured.
I mean, anybody can. Yeah, there's nothing. The unique thing about Brad Pitt, say, or Tom Cruise, or something like this, is that there's only one of them. You can't just put in a prompt and come up with another one. I mean, this person has to be born, you know what I mean, and cultivated, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's nothing unique about this AI object.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, it's common knowledge that it's very widespread on Instagram and TikTok, these like AI objects that are influencers. And some people who follow them know, some people don't know, but the people that know, I guess they don't care. So no, I think actually, oh, look at my brother down there. I think it's a little naive.
He's on the.
Look at him.
There he is, a Hollywood Reporter. There he is.
I think people will, for two reasons, people will watch AI objects. The first one is they've really been, the audience, unfortunately, has been, because of all the second screen stuff and projects that don't have a lot of care taken with them, they've trained the audience to just absorb kind of background music kinds of projects.
Right.
So I don't know how much they're really going to notice. And this is not all the audience, but just like, if you just like generally speaking. And the second reason is this isn't a film audience from 1970, used to watching 1970s films and looking at 1970s faces. This is an audience that's been looking at filters, social media filters, and plastic surgery for a long time now. Yeah. So when you show them something like this AI object or any other, it doesn't seem so far away from a real person because they're so accustomed now to seeing unreal people. Like some of the plastic surgery I'm seeing now, and like there seems to be a resurgence. And people are like, oh, so-and-so stuns in new pictures and you're like, wow, they got more plastic surgery. And I don't even think they look like younger versions of themselves or anything. They look like they're now looking like AI versions of themselves. So when you have real people walking around with kind of AI faces, it's just half a step to an audience watching a film or something with AI objects throughout the entire thing. And by the way, there's a lot I could show you where you can't tell the difference. I can't tell the difference on some of it, and I'm looking for it.
So they're trying to almost look like the Instagram filter version of themselves.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
And
they have, the first batch of them, of course, was the Will, I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, the spaghetti, right? That was like the first version. And then we had the better version, but people were like, oh, they seem kind of wooden, but sometimes you can't tell. And now, these new versions, they've got all the, all these like little human ways we move our head and squint our eyes. And it's such a mockery. It's such a mockery of human beings. But you can't tell now. I mean, haven't you ever seen these demos side by side?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Like, pick which one. And I always pick the wrong one.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. We're seeing the worst of it now.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of questions.
Whatever. Yeah. It's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to make a lot of things really miserable. And, in all sectors, it's not just in film. And unfortunately, there are too many people who, when told about a hot stove, need to melt all the skin off their hand before they go, yeah, this is
the only way they'll learn. Yeah.
This isn't good for us. I can see a stove at a distance and go, I can tell you where this is going to go. And that's what I was doing 3 years ago. I was like, I can tell you where this is going to go. And it's happening. I don't want to sound glib about the number of jobs, but I've gone through like mourning periods for my own business and, my own film business. And, not for me personally, like I've got like 3 films going right now. Like it's never been better for me. So anyway, I don't mean to sound glib about, the lack of work that's happening now at all. I think it's horrible. And I think the executives that have capitulated the financial structure of this business and the theater window and all this, I think they will, maybe it won't happen till the day they die, but they are going to understand what they did. When they had the football, they sold the football field for nothing. So I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible what's happened. I think it's horrible what's happened, particularly to the crew members in our business. But I've gone through a lot of mourning over this, and now I just have to like, the only way I can like get through the rest of this, because it's going to get worse, is just kind of laugh about it and just do my thing, you know. And anybody else who wants to like work on non-AI films, you know, that go beyond what's expected, you know, some that where you can really make something new, can come work with me. And that's all I can do. I don't have control over all these other people.
We hear that sentiment a lot. Like we do a kind of a debate show on Mondays, and whenever we talk about AI, it's the statement always being made is you can't put the genie back in the bottle. That it's just it's too late. It's gone out too far, and you know, we're just gonna have to accept it.
Well, you know what it is. What it is too is it's not like you know, AI has jumped out of the bottle like it's some virus, and it's out there, and it's permeating, you know, all these people's you know, personal spaces, and it's infecting them. It doesn't operate on its own. What you can't put back in the bottle is the laziness and the greed of people. And that's why it's being utilized. It's not being utilized because it makes films better. That's a bunch of bullshit. Anybody who says that is absolutely 100% full of shit. When they say, oh, because it's, you know, makes it, films have gotten so expensive, it makes it so we can, you know, afford to make the films. Yeah, films, yeah, can be expensive, but you can make you name me a film that was expensive. You could have made that for half of that money. I would tell you, like, I have had to make projects for half of what I planned on spending, and it's doable. So maybe everybody just has to take a little haircut, you know? Maybe you're not going to spend $100 million on that film. Maybe you're going to do it for 50.
Well, I'd like to see a return to these lower budget movies. Like we're kind of missing these mid-level and lower level projects.
That's true, Chris. And guess what? This was what you just said. That was the start of the demise of the film business's focus. Okay, so if we go back like 15 years, right? Social media started, and all the studios were scared, I guess. And they were just doing comic book movie after comic book movie. There's nothing wrong with the types of films I'm about to say. Comic book movies, sequels, reboots, but in proportion to, you know, have smaller amounts of them in relation to the total number of films that are being released. Unfortunately, it became like 80% of what was being released, and they stopped doing all those, you know, rom-com, you know, like $30 million, say $20 to $40 million rom-coms and comedies and dramas and everything. They just sort of, they went for the big ones, because if you're going to think about it, if you got to promote 5 films that cost $10 million a piece or $20 million a piece, that's 5 efforts, right? And maybe those films all make double or triple what they cost, but that total in profits does not compare to making an effort for $100 million film, and it makes $200 million. Now you've just, you know, there's a lot of expenses in between there, but just for the sake of argument, let's say you just made $100 million, but you only had to make the promotional effort for 1 film.
Yeah.
Versus 5 films and you make $100 million or less, even though they made double, triple what they cost. Okay, so you've got that element. So they did that, and then when what the streamers did is they did like they did a version of predatory pricing. You know, predatory pricing. You come in, you undercut everybody, you ruin your competition. They go away, and as soon as the competition goes away, you raise your prices to whatever you want. Okay, predatory pricing. They did a kind of predatory pricing where they came in and they were like, oh, they're not doing these mid-range films anymore, you know, so let's get behind Manchester by the Sea and films like this, and for a minute there, it seemed like a relief, right? Oh, streamers are coming. Oh, this is great. And then when you think about it, they don't have the overhead of P&A to the extent that studios do, releasing it in theaters, they can just put it on their website, right? So they did that. And it got rid of a lot of like kind of mid-range companies that were trying to do that sort of thing. And it certainly made the studios a little flabbier, right? Like they're like, okay, well, they're picking up that slack. And then as soon as they like sort of got rid of kind of anybody trying to focus on that level of film and that level of budget, then they just started and also they're tech companies, they're not film companies. So they're focused on scaling. Want to scale internationally. So then they started doing the churning out of content, like making like kind of a lot of kind of straight to DVD types of films, which are, you don't have any expectations the audience is going to respond at all, but it's just stuff to get out there. And that sucked. That was a real like, pulling the rug out of everyone, because it wasn't ever their intention to make great films for the film business.
It's just disheartening to see so many of the mistakes of the industry being unforced errors. The mistakes
unforced errors.
Yeah, they did it to themselves. So
yeah,
in addition to whole completely separate topic from AI, alienating kind of half of America.
Yeah, that's
I will just say this, by choosing a side, right? I mean,
yeah,
entertainment industry, and people are all alarmist now about Paramount being, I don't think Paramount is necessarily Republican or right leaning. I see them more as like sort of just middle of the road. They have very progressive programming, stuff that doesn't take a side. I think Hollywood, by choosing one side of the aisle, lost 50% of the audience.
Yeah. Now this was another thing that started happening like, maybe 10 years ago, 10 years ago, or like around the same time, is exactly what you're saying. And it's so uncharacteristic of Hollywood. Hollywood's DNA is risk taking. I mean, you got a bunch of people who, except for executives that have like some sort of ironclad contract, like you don't know what kind of money you're going to make this year. You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of money you're going to make next year. It could be $20. It could be $2 million. Like you're in one of the most personally financially unstable types of careers to have. Okay. And so there's that kind of risk taking, people they're willing to take that risk. The other risk taking is just on like your idea, just creatively, like you're making something out of nothing. You're putting like a kind of a story together, a world together, or whatever, and you're putting it out there. Like you're taking a risk with that too. Yeah. And the other characteristic that is like the kind of daredevil kind of DNA for the film business is perceiving what is missing in society and then jumping in right there, saying, well, we're going to give you that. Does everybody seem sad? You guys are missing comedy. We're going to give you comedy. They stopped. So with the risk taking, they stopped doing the risk taking because they got scared. And I think they got scared because of social media. Because social media, you could have like the 1,000 noisiest people on social media. We're starting to bring people down, right?
Yeah.
Or bring a company down, or we're doing a boycott or whatever. It's so easy for a small group of people to organize like that. And Hollywood reacted like a corporation instead of like filmmakers. And they pull way back and they're like, okay, well, we don't want to be like, Oscar So White or this or that or whatever it was, right? We don't want to be a shaming we don't want a shaming hashtag attack to occur on us. So we will make films that will check all the boxes. We will make sure we are attending to this group that has been very loud, or this group, or this group, or this group, or this group. And the film business has always made films about different groups, and
Yeah.
But what started happening, it was almost like making a great film was mutually exclusive with doing it about some kind of cause you care about.
Mm-hmm.
And you started seeing films just being thrown out there that weren't very good. I mean, you're fine. You want to make a film about a one-legged albino girls had two gay mommies and whatever. Like who cares? That's fine. But if
Yeah.
it's not good, but it's getting traction, or it's gotten released, or it's gotten a marketing campaign behind it stuff because of those elements I just said, not because it's any good.
Yeah.
Well, now you've missed it.
Well, I think the decline of the significance or the influence of the Sundance Film Festival is 100% due to the fact that they put identity above quality, and that applies
Well,
to
a lot of film festivals started doing that, and I mean,
Yeah.
you know, maybe those film festivals felt like they were doing a good thing or helping, but see, this is where I diverge from the idea of helping somebody, like at the CREDO 23 Film Festival. Like we don't look at who the director is until after, maybe. We just look at the film. I don't care. And the other programmers, like, we don't care if you're black, white, short, tall, fat, you had a difficult upbringing or not. I mean, not to make it sound cold, but like, I just don't give a shit. I mean, I'm sure your friends do and all, but like our purpose is, at the film festival, is to find great films. So if your film's great and all those things are true, you had a hard life and you are short and tall and black and white or whatever, all of it, okay, whatever. But you made a great film. Your film's in because you made a great film. Your film isn't in because you made some film about a cause, or because you are the list of personal challenges you have. I don't know. I'm just looking at your film. I'm just looking at the output of your talent. I'm interested in your talent. And maybe if we become friends, I'll be interested in those other things, but I'm just interested in your talent. Let me see your talent. And when you do that, what's interesting? When you do that, you naturally get a completely diverse group of filmmakers.
Organically.
Older, younger.
Yeah.
It happens naturally because talent isn't looking around when people are born, isn't looking around and picking, making sure that they have types, or it doesn't work like that. You get talent dropped into you as a creative talent dropped into you, and your talent doesn't care. Your morphology doesn't care what you look like. It doesn't care if you were fat, tall, gay, blind, just doesn't give a shit. And neither do your opportunities. It's only ourselves that keep us from opportunity. We see this a lot as people get older too. Like, oh, I can't, I can't, I'm not a young man anymore, or whatever, I mean, unless you're talking about like going and playing football or something and they're going to get like a little injured, but I don't mean like that. I mean, but there's an opportunity right in front of you, and people all the time will go like, oh, I can't, I'm too fat right now, or I'm too this, or they don't like women, or they don't like blacks, or they don't like, I don't know, your opportunity doesn't seem to care. Just go forward. So, yeah.
It's funny. We did a whole series about Disney animation going through this process, and it wasn't that there wasn't enough. They wanted to hire more diverse people. They wanted to hire more women, but they weren't hiring the ones with the skills to do the job. They were hiring the ones that were the loudest and had more, wanted to be at the table rather than have the talent and earn that right to be at that table.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. I mean, sometimes it takes, if you really, it's kind of like colleges, they go like, oh, we want to make sure that we let in enough, I don't know, whatever their quotas are, or whatever they've got like that. And you go like, all right, but you could instead, and a lot of colleges do have this, you could instead, and I always find it's like you're avoiding the more challenging aspect of this, because like the college thing, when I say some colleges have people that go out to all of these schools and find kids that are doing incredible work, and they don't really, they're not even, maybe some of these kids aren't even thinking about applying to the college that person represents, because they just assume they'll never get in, you'll never be able to afford it or anything like this. And you make a list. I found this kid who is kicking ass at this inner city school in spite of everything. And I think we should, give him a shot. He didn't even
giving people a
think to-
chance who couldn't in other ways get that chance.
But you didn't just grab someone who looks like that kid and say, we're going to give you a chance. You got somebody who's already hustling like his life depended on it. And you're like, hey man, I see what you're doing. This is your next move. So, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference. And anyway, I mean, I don't, I'm just talking about some imaginary situation, if it's like, I'll say this, there was a period where a few years ago where they were saying like, oh, you just got to give more women directors chances. You just gotta give them funding. You just gotta, make it happen for them and stuff. And I was like, not really into that. Like, I'm like, listen, I've got my path. I mean, I don't want to be not considered for something I'm qualified for only because I'm female. Like, yeah, that would be kind of a bummer. But there are challenges in my path, like taking a long time to get funding for something or whatever, right? Where I've been like, in tears, just go like, what the fuck do I do next? Like, I'm like fucking out of ideas. Like, God, if this is what you want me to do, like, do something, because I don't know what to do anymore. I've exhausted all of these. But here's the thing, with all of these challenges that are in my path, it's actually training, especially for a director, because the minute you're on a set, you're in charge of everything. And if you haven't been challenged up to that point, it's like Olympic athletes. If you haven't had challenges in the qualification trials before you got to the event, you're going to suck. What are you going to deliver? I have to have challenges. I have to have challenges for men, women, whoever I have to have challenges with men who are, because they're insecure, they're trying to make me feel less than, or, women do this too. It's not men didn't corner the market on that. They try to make you feel less than. And I'm glad to have those opportunities to become kind of bulletproof, because when I get on a set and I've got a clock ticking and a bank account, a budget dwindling every day, I have got to be able to withstand any kind of attack like that I've got to be able to handle it with authority and grace and keep that film going and get my shots. So I think it's a mistake to say that, a bunch of people need a shortcut. I mean, if that's the case in any, we're just talking about imaginary situations, but I want opportunities, but I don't want shortcuts, because that'll limit some training that I might need when I get a bigger opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, those opportunities aren't going to stop coming. And if I am not getting the training necessary when that like bigger opportunity comes, I'm going to be sucking wind. I'm not going to be able to do it as well.
Yeah. We've got over 3,000 people watching live.
Oh, fun. Hi, everybody.
A lot of
you
questions.
all buy passes, go buy passes to the festival.
Get your passes. CREDO23filmfest.com. We'll remind people before it's over. But we've got a lot, and I don't know how much time we have.
Let's hit them. I've got like 25 minutes. So let's see how many we can do.
Right.
Okay,
Alan.
Yes, from Matthew Hammond for 5. Would Justine join Roger Avery in discussion on the current state of motion pictures?
I
Is that your thing?
I guess I haven't. I mean, I know he was one of the writers on
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Sorry, Pulp Fiction. But I'm not. I mean, I should look him up more. But I mean, I guess what's more fun is talking to tech bros about. Pull a tech bro on here. I'll talk to them about the state of the film business.
Good. Let's try to make that happen. I think if you follow Roger on social media, you'll find you're like-minded in a lot of ways about current state of things.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's fun.
Joe Pat, tips for someone trying to break in these days.
Break into the film business? Well, I mean,
where's that?
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Joe Pat.
top. Yeah.
Okay, Joe Pat. This show was made by humans.
In the pluribus credits. That's cute.
There you
That's
go.
fun.
Right.
There we go here.
Yeah, caveat ties. Tips for anyone trying to break in these days.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it.
Here's what I want. Caveat ties. I want to help you with your mindset at all. You do not need to break into the business. Okay. You're a filmmaker. You are the business. So make a film, start with a short. It's going to be a lot. If you haven't made a film yet, start with a short because it's a lot easier to find out how you like to work, how well you're going to handle a budget and all this sort of thing when you have a 2-day shoot or 1-day shoot versus a 20-day shoot. Like you do it for yourself. It's part of your training, right? And then submit it to film festivals, not just CREDO 23, but like, Tribeca, Sundance, or, if it's a horror short or a sci-fi short, there's lots of other film festivals that are, specific to those genres. And see if you can get some traction and then do another one. And be your own patron of the arts. Make sure you have a job that is, paying not as a fallback, but rather as a supplemental. So you are not putting yourself in financial difficulty. Highly recommend. There's a Duplass Brothers, Jay and Mark Duplass Brothers book called Like Brothers. And there's kind of 3 sections to it that are braided together. And one of the sections is making films without much money and looking around at what you have access to, what kind of locations, your friends can be actors in it. What kind of resources do you have for, because it's, as far as like equipment, like I've shot a couple of films on iPhone, Sean Baker talks about that a lot. You can download DaVinci Resolve. That's free. Shockingly, it's a great post-production, editing, sound, everything kind of software. Lots of fun effects in there too. So yeah, don't think of it as you don't need to break in. There's no velvet rope. You just make a film and that you are in the film business. People say like, oh, don't you think talking like this, is going to get you like kicked out of the film? And I'm like, I am the film business. What do you mean kicked out of what? It's just
Hollywood
so dumb. Yeah,
is
you don't have to
gatekeeper
break
who gets to
in.
do
There's
it.
no breaking in. Like, just do it, and you are in the film business.
Matthew Hammond for 5. Is the reaction of the new McDonald's CEO while eating a new burger the same as studio execs watching their movies and TV where they don't like it?
Oh, I don't know. We were talking earlier about executives. There used to be more executives. There's some things I watch now that I'm like, wasn't there any executive looking at this going like, you got to cut half an hour from this? So I don't know. Maybe they're just like, they just seem scared. I mean, think about it. Look at all this consolidation. You know what that means for executives? You're getting fired. And there's been a lot of that. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ramble Gamble for 5. How do you feel about Gen AI props for family photos, posters, lotto tickets? I'm no budget indie stretching pennies running on favors crowdfunding.
Okay, Mr. Ramble Gamble. I want to challenge you to not ask yourself, if I didn't use generative AI for this, what would I do? Would I bring out Photoshop or Pixelmator Pro or something like that and just make this stuff? Do it. You can make it. You can make these things. Posters, do it. Or maybe you have a friend or a relative who's you know, a budding graphic artist. Like, ask them to make the poster. Ask the lotto ticket. You can do that. You can recreate that in Photoshop easy. And you just, there's just satisfaction, creative satisfaction is commensurate to the effort you put into it. It really is. I mean, I've made stuff that is really great. No AI, just, you know, and if it just came to me easily, like, it's cool. And I look at it and I'm like, God, I don't know who did that. Like, that's really good. But man, the triumph of when you have worked hard on something, and, you know, it can come either way, right? And then you look at it, like all the, you know, the CREDO 23 like logo and all this sort of thing. Like, I did all of that. And it's very satisfying to see it displayed in different places, you know? It's, you know, you guys putting it up, or you know, I don't know, if I do an interview with like Hollywood Reporter or something and they put the logo on there, like, it's very satisfying. So you can do it. I trust in you.
Here's a follow-up question.
Yeah, from Rambo Gamble is again for 2.
Okay.
The volume is AI. Why not AI matte painting?
What do we mean the volume is AI?
You know,
the volume is those stages you can rent that are just a big
like
video
360 and their video walls for background.
Yeah, they look like crap, by the way. That
you know, I've seen pictures of that. I would feel kind of sad on a set like that. 'Cause you're not, I don't know, you're not really interacting with anything. But, you know, I don't know. You look at some of the matte painting or some of the rear projection in some older films, like Yvonne's Childhood. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's some rear projection in that that's so cool. Or even Rodriguez's film. It was like a comic book. I mean, like a film noir.
Sin City. Yeah.
Didn't Sin City have a lot of rear projection that looked so cool?
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, it was
I mean,
processed in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. See what you can do, you know? You look, here's the thing. It's about making something great. It's not about you're not in some university class where you need to like get this done and get this, you know, you got a deadline, get this done. And, you know, who cares if you know, somebody who feels like, I don't care if I hire someone to write the essay. I just want to be done with this class. That's what using AI seems like to me. For anyone who says they're a filmmaker, they're like, oh, then I got to do these backgrounds. And I don't know, I'm just going to use AI. I mean, not to sound like, I don't mean to sound like I'm mocking, you know, our gentleman who was asking the question, but enjoy every bit of it. There's no rush, you know, enjoy it. What a great challenge. You got to make some sort of fanciful background. How are you going to do it? And maybe you'll come up with something that is like really unique and people go like, damn, what is up with that background? Did somebody use watercolors and like hand paint that? I mean, it's going to be a cool aspect to your film.
Yeah, the director of The Testament of Anne Lease said it was cheaper to hire an artist to make a matte painting than it was to do it in CG.
Well, CG can be expensive, but those artists are pretty cool too. I have not seen this film yet.
Okay, so yeah, hi from Cardinal for 10. Hi, Justine. I was curious if you've seen Gore Verbinski's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and what your thoughts are on the film's commentary and depiction of AI in our humanity.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer, and he makes the speech in the diner, and he's like, "You guys are in a world of shit," you know, with the phones, and he's throwing the phones out. Yeah, I think, you know, when you put all these elements together, you know, the surveillance, you know, you guys see the thing recently about like the Meta glasses, the Ray-Ban. I mean, This is bad. This is bad. It's bad. So I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it's bad. It's going to get worse, but you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay because we're going to win. I mean, and I don't even have, it's not, I don't know if anybody's, you know, whoever, if anybody follows me on Twitter, I put this video up of, there was some ice skating, like speed skating race in the Olympics some years ago. And there were four skaters up front and they were in the lead. There's one guy in the back. I think he was French. And they're jockeying for position. They're obviously going to take, you know, places 1, 2, 3, and you know, the French guy in the back's going to be 5, right? He's not going to medal. But they go around and around and around. And then these guys start mixing it up, right? And they wind up knocking each other down. And then the French guy he wins the gold. And I'm saying, like, this French guy is filmmakers.
Yeah.
And all these AI companies, and they like want to get, because I tell you what, if you're not called to this business and you're not called to be a filmmaker, or you're not called to be an actor or whatever it is, or for you guys, like, if you're not called to it, you're never going to have the gas you're going to need to actually have a career in this. Yeah. And the AI people do not have the gas to actually do this. I mean, they'll go and automate stuff, and then, you know, the audiences will be into it, and then the audiences will reject it, and then they'll be like, what do we do next? How do we scale? How do we make more money?
I think I was in your comments on one of your posts on X saying that, like, they've been trying to make virtual reality a thing. It's not a thing. It's a fraction market. It's a small number of people. Since the 90s, you know, the VR goggles Apple introduced, their VR goggles. They're not making a big impact. It's a small market. It's not there. It's
too expensive.
I feel the same way about AI, and especially AI that's forced. When they force you to use it,
it's so
like,
forced.
I hate it. I hate it.
So. It's a mockery of being a human. It's trying to be you know, people who are using it are wanting to replace humans in any way they can because it saves them money. They're wanting to God, you know, when you hear about the pharmaceutical business, you know, where it costs so much money to develop a particular the vaccine or a medicine or something, right? So let's say it costs you like I'm just making up numbers, like $100,000 a day, right? And by the time you get up to having this medicine ready, you've spent $50 million. I'm just making up numbers, right? Yeah. Now the medicine's ready. You put it on the market. You want to make as much money as possible before you have to give up the patent. But now this $100,000 a day cost of developing this ends the day you release it, right? What's going on with AI? Yeah. And now it's not $100,000 a day. It's like $10 million a day or whatever. I don't know what the number is, right? But a lot more money. And you get it up to a point where it's stable. It's still not quite there. And now, and then you, let's say you get it to a point where it does everything you need to do, right? And everybody's using it. Well, the amount of money you're spending does not stop that day. You have to keep spending that much money every single day it's being used. There's so many, on so many levels, this is completely unsustainable and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if we do more.
That
I've
bubble,
got like 10 minutes.
Yeah. That bubble, I believe, will burst. So.
Oh, it's going to be damaging. Yeah.
Joe Pat for 999. Incidentally, to anyone who thinks that just mindlessly scrolling through TikTok or the Reels tab on IG is a bad habit, AI will only make that problem worse. By the way, congrats on 10 years of Z. Wait, sorry.
Z. What's Z?
What's Z?
Z. I don't know. But thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
yeah.
But
our short attention span on these TikToks and short reels are just not helping.
Oh God, to run a studio. I'll tell you one thing. I mean, look, I don't know a lot of the details of you know, the financial, I know they're going to be absorbing a lot of debt and all of that, but I tell you, one of the things I would do is I'll pull all my shit. Oh my God. I would have had lawyers down their throats 3 years ago with what they have taken in of our copyrighted stuff. I would have been very like to the AI companies, like very like, go fuck yourself. Like we are the film business. You're not the film business. We're the film business, and you don't get any of our shit. None of it. Go make your own stuff. You want to play around in our playground? Go make your own shit. Get out of our faces. Yeah, I would have done things a lot differently. But
thank you, Sons and
not my
Shadows
path.
cast. I think you could run a studio, Justine, easily.
Well, I'm running my little production company, CREDO 20, or not CREDO 23, Section 5, and I'll make some good films for you guys.
But running a
I don't
studio
believe
ain't
a
all it's cracked
400
up to
million
be.
film, half of it is money laundering, nepo payers, probably commerce. Well, Dr. Fauci's pardon, but you just basically summarized every industry on the planet. I mean, if any of that is happening in the film business, it's also happening in the oil business. It's also happening. I don't know where you live, but your tax dollars are going towards, I don't know what, every single business. Yeah. So, look, if you think there's bad people in the restaurant business or the media business or the shoe manufacturing business, then they're bad people and they're people that don't care that work in the film business too. But the majority of them, and the ones that I know, and I've been in the business for 40 years, man, there are a lot of really good people that work so hard to kind of bring you guys entertainment. So yeah, there's shitty people all over.
At the same time, I just filed my California tax return, and
oh, great! That'll go to like everything you paid will spill onto the side of the road, nearby some sort of train depot that they're building that's going nowhere.
I was gonna say that I just
movies I'm
train.
working on. Oh, how do we invest? Oh, nice question. One is about, I'm casting 2 right now, and I have to write this 3rd one. One is a romance. That's the one I'm writing. And that's like not written yet. So one is about the very strange relationship that mommy lifestyle influencers have with their followers, and this sort of faux intimacy that is really only manufactured in order that they can get paid more by brands. But what if you took somebody who really needed to feel that intimacy and brought them into this influencer's life accidentally? What would happen? That's what that one is. It's like I call it a realistic thriller. And then the other one hasn't been announced yet. So that's the other one's a bigger film, but man, what can I tell you?
Well, don't tell us anything. I'll say this.
No, I can't tell you about that. No, what can I tell you about investing?
Well, you've got a big
nice.
enough following. You've seen Robert Rodriguez, Eli Roth, other people say, I'm just going right to my fans. You could go right to your audience.
I will say, like, to do that, like for short or something, that I have had success with that. But I did try to get funding for, to raise funding like that with for a feature film that was $1 million, which is very low for a film. I mean, people may not understand. We could do another show where we talk about budget to help people understand why it does actually cost quite a bit of money to do a film. So that's like low to do a film, $1 million. But I mean, I couldn't get there with the crowdfunding. It's hard to raise a large amount of money. If you're raising money for short, like I said, like a $20,000-$30,000, you can do it, but it's hard. At least I found it hard. and it's like a full-time job to run the campaign.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah, it's awful. It's
difficult.
like asking people, how much money do you like me? So that's
well,
what
you know,
doing a
hopefully it's
crowdfunding
how
is like.
much money do you like this project, but
Right.
it's tricky. I could try again, you know, down the road, but that's very nice of them to offer. I mean, you know, if they ever want to give their information to send it to my production company, info@section5.tv, they could do that, and you know, maybe down the road. Okay, how many can we
We got
get?
three more
in
questions.
5 minutes. Okay, great.
All
Read it, Alan.
Let's see.
If you
Steve
don't
Z
have
for
the
5.
gas.
If you don't have the gas, I'm
Yeah.
stealing that.
Because think about it, like there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of disappointment, there's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of triumph, there's a lot of hard work. I mean, in being a filmmaker, or being an actor, or being a even like maybe a studio executive, though you do have a steady paycheck there. But yeah, to be in like any of the creative arts, or even if you're a musician or anything, and if you're not called to it, I don't know how you keep going. I don't know how you have the grace to, you know, I mean, if I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and I wasn't really called to it, I'd just go like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm good. I don't, you know, yeah.
All right, that Films and Shadows cast for 5. Are we replacing Badger with Justine as super chat reader?
What's a super chat reader?
That's what I'm doing right now.
That's what
I'm
Alan's
reading
doing.
these
He's
super
reading the.
Oh.
And then finally, Mr. Wendell for 5. Justine, been a fan of yours forever. Will there ever be a decent physical version of Satisfaction available on Blu-ray or 4K?
Well, who's outputting that kind of stuff now? Is it just Criterion Channel? I mean, you know, if you want, you start a campaign where you try to get Criterion Channel to take Satisfaction. I mean, I don't know who puts out physical media anymore.
What studio produced it?
It was actually NBC Studios.
So it's Universal.
Funny enough. So I guess Universal owns it now. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, let's remind people as we wrap up and say goodbye, Justine. The CREDO 23 Film Fest is coming up. The passes are on sale. CREDO23filmfest.com. The schedule is up of panels and films, all the information on the site. Get yourself a pass. There'll be cocktail hour, conversation with filmmakers. I've been last year. Alan and I both came. We'll be there this year. So,
and there is a pool table downstairs.
There's a pool table. And for anyone who's like, you know, thinking about it, you know, it's the last weekend in March. It's the 27th to the 29th in LA. And here's the thing, like, if you're like me, like I get to certain points in my life where I just feel I feel so disappointed or just kind of I guess just disappointed that there's really not a fresh new film for me to watch. You know, there's some, but like, okay, then you watch that and then now you're done. You know, something like The Chair Company. I was like, oh, I like this. This is fun. This is great. This is wacky, right? That's on HBO. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool. And then you finish it. And then you go, okay, well, what else? So if you're feeling like that and you really want to see some fresh new stuff there's no box checking, there's no agenda, it's really good, just great filmmaking, like fresh ways to approach these stories and stuff, and great actors and all of this. If you want to get like kind of refreshed, you know, with your entertainment, you know, to feel like, hey, that was a breath of fresh air. I got to see some new stuff that was really enjoyable. Then come and also like it's just really fun. Just come hang out with us. It's really quality people and you'll have a good time.
Great. Justine, can't thank you enough. We're
thank
big
you
supporters.
guys. Love Film Threat.
And got some recommendations for you. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I think you would like it when you see what these guys have done.
Okay.
It's truly
it's very low budget, and then
low budget. It's the kind of real thing I think that might appeal to you.
Okay. And watch Chair Company now that I've brought it up.
Oh, I will take the recommendation. Justine, thank you so much. And I'll see you in a couple weeks at CREDO. And we will keep letting our audience know about it. Take care. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Later. Take care. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. I'm a big fan. Sorry we didn't get to all the questions. We started a little too late. So for those that we focused on soups, apologies for that. But
you know, she will answer your question.
She will, and she'll read it and think deeply about it, more deeply than even Alan and I.
Yeah.
Think about the questions. She is the real deal. No bullshit. Watch Award This. Justine Bateman came in at the end and gave our last 3 awards. She was so gracious and really easy to deal with. I'm like messaging her and she's like, cool, no problem. I'll be there. Like not any hand holding or celebrity coddling. She just shows up. She's a
You're talking about Zach Selvin, aren't you?
What are you? Yes, a lot of coddling with Zach, but yeah, Alan and I will both be there. So, and this is actually, I found it. God, I didn't want to embarrass her, but this is Justine on the cover of Time magazine. Here she is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna pull that one up.
The People versus AI. So look that up on time.com, and we'll have clips from this interview we'll put up on Film Threat and on our interview channel. We just got our interview channel monetized. So if you are not a subscriber to Film Threat interviews, let me take, we have 2 other sister channels for Film Threat. One is Film Threat trailers. The other is Film Threat interviews. We put clips on here. Here's our interviews kind of, it's just Film Threat interviews with filmmakers. We archive them here. We do clips, shorts, and this channel recently got monetized. Yeah. We also do things only for this channel. Interviews. Alan and I will interview filmmakers and that show up on here.
Yeah, I have 2 interviews with David Zucker on here, and then the interview with Stephen Merchant is on here as well.
And they're different playlists, and it's updated every week. It's only interviews. Uwe Boll's been on the channel many times. He's a badass. Their playlists. So check that out while we have you, and subscribe to Film Threat. And Lord Thaw says, oh wait, Sons and Shadows cast gifted 5 Film Threat memberships, and Alan at Night is the 4th channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Says MK Solid. Thank you. And Lord Thaw says,
like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthread.com.
And thank you to our mods. Thank you, everyone here. I had a rough day today, and you all made me smile on the Nooner and here. And thank you to Alan, Lori, Glenuccio, and the whole Film Threat gang. We will be back on Friday with our normal review show. Monday's like our group panel show. Wednesday's our deep dive interview show. Fridays are when Alan and I get to spend time alone.
With you.
We review movies and Starfleet Academy. I'm seeing
we have 2 movies on Friday to review.
No, we've got more than that. I'm seeing the movie Dolly. It's a horror film.
Yep.
I'm going to see that. So,
and then Hoppers. We all want to know about
Hoppers. We'll talk about that. And by the way, I'm going to be on Critical Drinker open bar tomorrow. I think starting at noon. I think it starts sooner.
Somewhere.
So there you go. But that's it. And there you go. And just thank you. You guys saved my life today. Just lifted my spirit. So there you go. Alan, we're wrapping things up. See you Friday. Thank you to everyone who sent in a super or even just contributed and made your voices heard. We do our best. We do our best here to bring people on and have a conversation.
You're
Talk to
running
me.
out of steam, I can tell.
I was out of steam when we started. I was so tired. But Alan, what do you got to say?
Let's get out of here.